Hi, Thunderbirds. This is Robuck here to read you today's story. I will be reading Where the Wild Things Are by Maurice Sendak. As I read today, I want you to think of making text-to-text connection. This book reminds me of another book character that is sent to his room for misbehaving. And while he's there, the reader is transported to somewhere else through his imagination. At the end of the story, we'll see if you think of the same character that I'm thinking of. I'm going to be playing sound effects during the story. So here we go. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another, his mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, so he was sent to bed without eating anything. That very night, in Max's room, a forest grew and grew and grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day, and in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. Till Max said, and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into their yellow eyes without blinking once, and they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all, and made him king of all wild things. And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus begin. Now stop, Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without supper. And Max, the king of all the wild things, was lonely and wanted to be somewhere where someone loved him best of all. Then all around, from far away and across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so. And Max said, no. The wild things roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye, and sailed back over a year, and in and out of weeks, and through a day, and into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him, and it was still hot. Well, Thunderbirds, in today's story we saw that Max was sent to his room for misbehaving, and while he was there he had a great adventure in his imagination in which he traveled across the ocean to a land where wild things are. At the end of the story, Max returns to his own bedroom where his dinner's waiting for him. So did you make a text-to-text connection? What book character did Max in Where the Wild Things Are remind you of? Wow, you guys made some great connections. Do you want to know what character Max reminded me of? I was thinking of Skippy John Jones. Skippy John Jones is sent to his room and has an amazing adventure about the banditos, all while he's actually in his closet with his toys and piñata. I bet you came up with a great character and book also. Well, until next time, Thunderbirds, miss you.